are looking at a live view of the Falcon Heavy. Yes, the Falcon Heavy on historic pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, awaiting liftoff at 3:45 p.m. local time. Welcome to our live launch webcast. My name is Lauren Lyons. I'm an engineer in our flight reliability department here at SpaceX, and I am so excited to be here with you today, along with my co-hosts, bringing you coverage of the first ever test flight of Falcon Heavy. At liftoff, Falcon Heavy is going to be the world's most powerful operational rocket by a factor of 2. And today is the day that we attempt to demonstrate that power. And because it is a test flight, there is no satellite customer on board the vehicle today, but the fairing is not empty. We do have some very interesting payloads going up on this flight that we'll talk about later on in the webcast. We'll also walk you through the mission profile because this ain't your typical Falcon launch. We've got 28 engines, 3 boosters, 3 separation events, 3 landing attempts, and there's going to be a lot of activity happening all at once. So this test flight is bound to be exciting one way or another. All right, we've got a ton to walk you through today, so let's get going.
Hi, I'm Michael Hammersley, a materials engineer in avionics department. We're very excited. I'm sure you can hear it. To my right, we have a live view of Falcon Heavy on the pad at Kennedy Space Center. Falcon Heavy is essentially 3 Falcon 9 rockets all strapped together, which means it can carry much larger payloads not only to Earth orbit, but to the Moon and Mars as well. So like Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy is a 2-stage launch vehicle. The big difference is that the first stage in Falcon Heavy is comprised of 3 cores, while Falcon 9 has only 1. Now, each one of these 3 cores has 9 M1D engines, making for a total of 27 engines overall. Altogether, those engines produce 5 million pounds of thrust, which is equal to 18 747s at takeoff. In fact, the engines are producing so much power that we don't run them at full thrust all at once. So during ascent, Falcon Heavy will throttle its thrust up and down in both the side and the center cores in order to balance the aerodynamic and structural loads on the vehicle. So about halfway through the first stage's burn, the 2 side boosters will separate and come back to Earth for a simultaneous landing at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. More about that a bit later. Wait. At that point, the mission proceeds very much like a standard Falcon 9 flight. The center core will keep on firing for another minute to burn all of its fuel, and it will perform a standard stage separation from the second stage on top. This second stage, with the fairing right at the very top there, the second stage is exactly the same as any other Falcon 9 flight, except we've loaded a bit more helium onto it this time. Now, that second stage will be sending our payload way out into a Mars-crossing orbit, which we'll also get into a bit later. But all in all, with a successful launch, Falcon Heavy is going to be the largest and most powerful operational rocket in the world. We're very excited to be launching it today. Let's check in on exactly how it's doing.
Good afternoon. I'm John Innsbrucker, the Falcon Principal Integration Engineer at SpaceX. We're currently at T-minus 17 minutes, 40 seconds and counting down. The good news is that all systems are go for launch. We're working no problems with the SpaceX test flight of the Falcon Heavy launch vehicle. Now we're currently loading propellant on all 3 first stage boosters, and we began loading a couple minutes ago on the second stage LOX tank. Now this is the same method that we use on the single core Falcon 9. It just scaled to handle 3 first stage boosters. Now we're loading liquid oxygen and kerosene. We do that because in order to support combustion, you need oxygen. And in the vacuum of outer space, there isn't any. So we bring our own liquid oxygen, chilled and densified. You may have heard densified in the past. That allows us to pack the maximum amount into the LOX tanks on the Falcon Heavy. Now our fuel is refined petroleum, RP1. That's essentially just a purified kerosene. It's a safe propellant, easily available, has a lot of history. For example, the Saturn V first stage, flown from the very pad you see on the monitor, on the moon missions, used kerosene and liquid oxygen. Now the big news this afternoon has been the weather, and we've eaten up most of our launch window. Now we won't have the ability to hold the countdown any further now that we are into liquid oxygen loading. The good news is that the winds are looking good. We're working no issues on the Falcon Heavy. However, if there is an issue in the last minutes, we won't be able to launch today. There is a backup date available tomorrow. And I've said it before, launch is hard, and Falcon Heavy is no exception. We're essentially counting down 3 rockets simultaneously. So the SpaceX team is going to be conservative in case anything pops up in the last minutes. But as the energy and the enthusiasm from the team gathering below me outside of Mission Control Center X is growing, we are go at T-minus 15 minutes and 40 seconds and counting.
Alpha Line.
Ground gas close-outs has started.
Falcon Heavy gas loads are complete. M1D fuel bleed complete. M1D engine chill is complete.
AFTS is ready for launch.
Ground gas closeouts are complete.
Falcon Heavy is in startup. Stage 2 pressing for flight.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Launch director on countdown 1. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go for launch.
Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, standby for terminal count. 10, 9, 8,
Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. Ignition. Falcon Heavy.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T-plus 30 seconds, if you can hear me over the cheering. Falcon Heavy heading to space on our test flight. Building on the history of Saturn V Apollo, returning pad 39A to interplanetary missions. We're getting ready to throttle down for max Q.
Vehicle is supersonic.
You've heard the call out. Vehicle is supersonic. Side boosters are now throttling back up to full
Vehicle has
power.
reached maximum dynamic pressure.
We're past max Q, the period of maximum loads on the vehicle. Next up, we'll be waiting for the side boosters to begin to throttle down prior to booster engine cutoff and separation 2.5 minutes into flight. GNC trajectory looks good on the Falcon Heavy. Reports show that the M1D engine performance is nominal.
Contact engine chill has begun.
Side boosters have begun to throttle down in preparation for the upcoming shutdown in 20 seconds. Major event coming up with side booster shutdown and separation.
Inside shutdown. Side boosters. Beacon. Center. Ooh, south and up. S1 keeps going.
Boost back starting.
Successful separation. We're coming up on Nico in shutdown.
Stay set. They've on recognition. This big burn looks good on side boosters. Back burn start up.
Coming up on fairing separation.
Center core side engines on power, also look good.
Stage 2 is followed from
He's moving to the power now. Side booster, boost back, shutdown. Center core, boost back burn, shutdown.
Acquisition of signal.
Wow. Wow. Did you guys see that? That was awesome. That's the only thing I can really
That was
say right
absolutely
now.
wild. Absolutely wild. I got nothing else.
Oh, man. Recapping all the great things that you just saw there. Successful liftoff from the pad, successful stage separation, but before that, successful booster separation. You can see stage 1. The two side boosters, pardon me, you can see the center core, and you can see MVAC lit up. Oh my gosh.
Then the beautiful shots of Starman chilling in the Tesla Roadster. Just absolutely incredible. On your screen at the moment, you've got a few things happening. On the upper right, you've got MVAC D continuing its burn. On the upper left, you have the center core headed back towards the autonomous spaceport drone ship. And in the two bottom screens, you've got the side boosters headed back towards Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, landing zones 1 and 2. The next step coming up for the side boosters and the center booster is the re-entry burn. That's going to slow it down from, or slow all the boosters down from way faster than the speed of sound to just faster than the speed of sound in order to reduce some of those aerodynamic forces and heating that occurs when you're moving that quickly through the atmosphere.
And as you can see on your screen, that re-entry burn for those two side boosters has begun.
Side boosters, entry burn, shut down. Side core, entry burn,
The center core in the upper left of your screen performing its own re-entry burn. You can see the edge of Cape Canaveral in both of the side booster cameras as those are coming in.
Some PY and NY side boosters have saved.
Center core, entry burn, shutdown.
And even though those look very similar, those two boosters views, those are actually representing different boosters. And they're heading towards Earth. They're about to begin their landing burns. We'll hopefully be able to bring you nice footage of that.
Both side boosters transonic.
And watch for the landing lights deploy at the tail end of that landing burn.
And that landing burn has started.
Both boosters boosters looking to be on track towards their respective landing
boosters
zones.
landing legs have started. Side boosters landing legs have deployed.
And the Falcons have landed.
LZ1, LZ2, both side boosters have touched down. Landing out through V12, 11 by 1, recovery 1 and recovery 2.
And coming up very shortly, the Center Core will be attempting its landing on the autonomous spaceport drone ship.
You may also be hearing the second engine cut off. Oh, check on your screen. Sometimes this footage goes out when it approaches the drone ship and the heavy vibrations make it lose signal. We're crossing our fingers that's not the case right now.
Stage 2, nominal parking orbit insertion.
So it looks like that landing is happening at the moment. We have lost signal. We're hoping that signal comes back shortly.
Oh, man. Yeah, as Michael mentioned earlier with the vibrations of the rocket and how it shakes up the cameras that are on the drone ship, sometimes we do lose signal, or shakes up the antennas.
Oh, and we've just gotten confirmation.
Oh. We're waiting to hear what happens, and so we're listening in, and we're still waiting to hear. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. You'll know. People are cheering, but we'll get the call and know hopefully very, very soon how that Center Core is doing, whether it's standing up proud on that drone ship or not.
Meanwhile,
other two landings.
those were absolutely gorgeous. Meanwhile, the second stage is continuing its trajectory towards Mars. It's all looking good there. John, come give us a recap of the full mission.
He stands.
Well, if you could hear all that cheering, it was an outstanding test flight of the Falcon Heavy. Cameras cycling right now. Live views coming down from low Earth orbit. The second stage successfully got there, and it got there as the culmination of a great Falcon Heavy test flight. We lit 27 engines, throttled the boosters up and down. We separated the side boosters. They came back spectacular simultaneous landing. The Center Core did its job. The second stage did it. Everything that you could want in a test flight, we got here. Now we're just looking for the icing on the cake to find out what happened on the drone ship. But all in all, an outstanding test flight for Falcon Heavy.
Wow, what an absolutely momentous occasion. Thank you so much to the range for contributing their expertise to today's launch, the FAA for the licenses to launch and land those boosters, as well as the rest of Falcon Heavy. And thank you to you, the viewers, for joining us for a really, really cool moment here.
And to find out what happened with the Center Core and what's going on with Starman as he makes its journey through space and all of our other launches, you can visit us at SpaceX.com and follow us on social media on LinkedIn and Twitter.
If you would like to join us on exciting projects like these, please visit SpaceX.com/careers. From the entire grateful team here, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time.